following the directive of His Excellency the President, arising from the concerns that the markets that have been built under MATIP, 19 of them in MATIP 1 and MATIP 2 had been taken over or hijacked by rich people. And yet these markets are meant for, they are meant for vendors who make a living in the market. So the program was commissioned by the Minister of Local Government, Honorable Raphael Majezi. We divided in two groups. The minister went to the west, the Minister of State went to the Bunyoro and the Toro sub-region, the Permanent Secretary went to the northeast. My team and I myself came to the east. We are supposed to cover Mbale, Tororo, Jinja, and eventually go to Ettedu. So the purpose of our coming to Mbale was to carry out verification in the market. And by verification, we are required to establish one, who is in the market. Is it a vendor? And was he or she allocated the facility? But on coming to Mbale, where we have been since Tuesday last week, our findings are that the market, indeed the market of Mbale had been taken over by those people who are the rich ones. There are those who are claiming that they were developers, then there are those who are landlords. Actually, we found that 3/4 of the facilities in the market are being rented out. And yet the provision of government is that these markets, the management operations are guided by the Market Act 2023, which His Excellency the President assented to last year on 22nd of May 2023. So the Act stipulates very clearly that the vendor who is making a living in the market, selling in the market, is the one who should be in the market, and the landlord is the city council. But here we found that there were landlords who are charging vendors exorbitant amounts of money. Just to cite a few examples, we found a case where an individual was charging a vendor in an open space where council, the rate of payment was 3,000 per month. He was charging a vendor 5.5 million shillings, and that definitely is too high a figure. We have also established that some landlords were charging between 1 million to 8 million shillings per year for a facility where a council was charging between 50 to 100,000 in the ranges. So in carrying out the exercise, we tried to do whatever it takes to allocate or register the vendors, those who are actually doing the business, and remove the facilities from the either landlords or the developers. We've also had the cases where at the time of entering the market, around about 2016, the members of the allocation committee actually had allocated themselves, each one of them, 2 facilities or more. And yet the Market Act now says every vendor should have one facility. And for that matter, we have emphasized that let every vendor have a single facility. We have covered the 534 lockups, and we want to believe that about 98% of the people now in the market are the bona fide or the genuine vendors who deserve to be in the market. We, as the next steps, we have not finalized on the stalls. We have asked the city council, together with the section leaders in the market, to identify the open spaces. Those are the stalls, pitches which are not being occupied, because we are advising council that the vendors who are selling outside the market and around about in town should now be invited to go back to the market. So we have advised City Council on the next course of action. In the meantime, as we were getting the facilities and giving to the vendors, we were advising them to pay, because the vendors who were renting from the so-called landlords were paying money, but the landlords were not paying council. But now, where each place where we would go, we would ask for the status, whether he or she is paid up as a vendor, and we ask them to pay. And the vendors are very willing to pay. On Tuesday, when we started, the account balance on that account, which is collecting money from the market, was 1,257,000 shillings. But as we close of business today, out of this exercise, we have been able to collect 143,656,000 shillings. Our expectation is that if those who have been given are all going to pay, we expect that by tomorrow, Mbale City Council should have generated about 150 million or so. So what are the next steps? The next steps is that my team with the council is going to generate that list of what we now call the genuine vendors who have been allocated those facilities. This list will be pinned in the market, in the council hall, in all conspicuous places, so that vendors go and cross-check. During our verification, we have been identifying vendors through their name, their NIN number, their telephone numbers, and the lockup which they have been operating in. So that list will be put up. We expect the vendors to go and check and confirm that those are their genuine particulars. And then after that, there is a form which has been designed for all the markets in Uganda, which those vendors are required to pick and fill, expressing interest in using the facility, using the lockup, the stall, or otherwise. So after they have filled those forms, they will return them to the market master. The City Council is going now to compile, verify the application form against the list which has already been pinned up. And after that, we expect council to issue allocation letters. It's going to be the second time the vendors in Mbale market are going to get allocation letters. But this one will be the genuine and the official allocation letters, because the previous ones which were given in 2016 were temporary allocation letters. After the allocation letters have been issued, we expect now council to proceed and sign tenancy agreement with each of the vendors. However, during the exercise, we found that there are some landlords who have been threatening the vendors who have now been verified and allocated, and we would like to issue a very serious warning to them that it is criminal and they will face the law if they continue threatening. Let them leave these vendors. Our finding is that for them, they have collected a lot of money already and they were putting it in their pockets. Let them leave these vendors to use the facilities in the market and be able to generate the revenue. The main part of that money generated from the market, we are asking and expecting council to replow it back for cleaning the market, paying for power, paying for the water, paying for the disposal of garbage, and we are expecting council to proceed and contract a private security firm to keep the security in the market. And we expect also council to do repairs. When you go to Mbale Central Market now, there are places which are dark, it is dirty, it's filthy. With these monies now coming on board, the town clerk and his team should be able to replow that money to the market and make the market a better place to live in.
Like, share, subscribe.